Now that it looks okay, it's starting to look like this, we have something we sort of want. We need to add some stuff down here to make this look nice. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the main section. And the main section, just to give you an idea of what it looks like, if you give this main section some styles, if you say dot main, background, let's go with EEE, so super light gray, it should look, let's see, I don't even know if that's even in there. Maybe? I don't know if I can see it. Let's make it a little darker. Let's make it like AAA. So it should be grayish. There's nothing in there yet, so let's put something in the main section. Let's put a paragraph tag that says main. And you should see, boom. Okay, cool. That's our main section. Everybody see that? Now the problem here is that this main section has this space between the main section and the cover section. We want to get rid of that space. The best way to do that is, again, to use Flexbox. So I want to display in the body. I'm going to make the body display flex and put flex direction column so that it goes up and down. And if you do that, it should look like this. Boom. Just like that, which is exactly what we want. So this is what you do in the body. You say display flex, flex direction column, so that everything in the body is laid out in column format. And they stack right next to each other. Yeah, I can scroll down a little bit. What do you want to see? Oh, I just gave it a background color, that's all. Well, you put whatever you want there. I'm going to get rid of that in a second. I just want you to see what it looks like. Cool? So now we have this section here. That looks a little bit better. What we want to do is this main section is going to hold all of our blog posts. So every explore, create task that we make is going to go inside this main section. Cool? Now I'm actually going to get rid of this gray color, so I don't think that looks super nice. You can keep it if you want. You can do whatever you want with that. Here's how I'm going to do this. You ready? I'm going to go down to this main section right here, and I'm going to give it a margin. First of all, I'm going to give it a width of 80%, because I want to take up 80% of the screen. And I'm going to give it a margin of 0 auto, like this. Now what that does is it puts a margin of 0 on the top and the bottom, and it automatically positions the margins on the left and the right. And so if you actually give this a background of like, you'll notice that it just centers it. It just puts it in the center. That's all that does. It makes it look like this. Let me show you. Like that. It puts it in the center like so. I don't know you can see that gray. Let's make that gray a little easier to see. So this is all that it did. It just centered it in the middle. We all see that? Amazing. Now the first thing you're going to do is you're going to create a dummy blog post, which means a fake blog post. Cool? Now if you want to get some good ideas on how to make a nice blog layout, you can always just go to CodePen and Google blog layouts. CodePen, and then just type in their search blog. And you'll see that a lot of people have come up with some really creative ways to show off their blog, and they'll even give you a lot of the CSS. So what you'll see here is that most of them have a blog post, and then some text, and maybe a place to comment and a place to like. You'll see other people doing that here. You need a title, a date, and then all the content for your blog, or like maybe a little filler text. You'll see a lot of people do different things with their blogs. Some of them are really nice. I've even made some of you do this last year as like a recreate this as part of your assessment. Do you remember this one? I think Yanira, I think this one was yours actually. The blog post card. Maybe, maybe not. So it's also a good idea maybe to go and check out some of the ways people do their blogs to see if you can copy a lot of what they do. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to make a title for my first blog. So in this div with the class of main, I'm going to create another div with the class equals blog-post. And I'm going to put an H1 in there that says explore task 1. Let's say I'm going to do mine on facial recognition. Like that. So you should make one on whatever you think you might want to do yours on right now. Try it out. And if you do that, it should look something like this. Now below this, I'm going to put two things. I'm going to put a paragraph tag with a class equals blog-date. I'm going to put August 17th, 2018 there. Now I'm going to put another paragraph tag that's going to say class equals blog-lead. Just like so. Anyone have any questions about that so far? Now the reason why I gave each of these a class is because I'm going to make this one a little light gray. And this one is going to be the lead. Like it's going to be like a, sort of like if you look at a blog post that only give you like the first 150 words, that's what this section will be. The lead section. And you could even call this one class equals blog header or blog title. So you give each one a class so you can style it specifically to what you think looks the best. Then, in here, you can write your opening paragraph, even if you wanted to. Facial recognition has changed the way human beings identify and authenticate themselves. We can now log in to our iPhones with our faces. That's creepy. And you can put whatever you want there. And then with a little bit of style, what that looks like now, what it should look like is something like this. Once you save it, and I'm actually going to get rid, Cloud9 Classic. Well, I'm going to get rid in the style, I'm going to get rid of that background color. I'm going to get rid of that. And I'm going to save this. And I'm going to refresh, see what this looks like now. Cool, that looks all right. What I want is I want to make that font like a little dark gray, let's say. So I'm going to get blog-date dot blog-date color like DDD, which is like a gray. No, that's too light. Let's make it EEE. Still too light. Let's try that. That's a little bit better. Maybe like 888. That looks all right. I'm cool with that. And you can change this to whatever you want. You can do all different kinds of things with this. But at the end, once you've written a little brief introduction paragraph, right here, you should probably put like, we ... so that it looks like it goes on for a little longer. And so what someone would want to do is they would click on this section right here. This would be a link to the actual blog post itself. Does that make sense? Now your job for today is going to be to write your first blog post using this layout. You can actually just write it right in here, but the other way you can do it is you can link to the page that contains your blog post. So you could say, you could make a new page here, touch blog1.html, And in this blog1.html, you can put the same stuff as you have in your index.html, but replace. Actually, you could keep it just like it is. Blog post. And then right in here, you could write your whole thing. The entire blog. Right in here. You can call this blog content or something. And you can write your whole post. Blah, blah, blah. Maybe you have like 6 paragraphs or something. And then in your index.html, you can link to that by surrounding this h1 with an anchor tag, like this. href equals blog1.html. And if you do that, it'll almost look nice. It'll look like this. It'll look, I don't like that underline, and so I'm going to change that. I'm going to say in the style section, I'm going to give all my anchor tags text decoration none, which means no underline, and color black. If you do that, it looks like this. And if you want to make them look super nice, you could say a hover text decoration underline. And so they only underline when you hover over them, which looks like this. So you know it's a link. I think that looks a little nicer, and so that's what I'm going to keep. And then when you click on it, it should take you to your blog page right here, where you actually have your real blog. You could also include an entirely another style for blog posts. You could have touch a blog CSS, and in there you write different CSS to make it look a little bit nicer. So you can maybe take the same CSS here in the blog.css, but make this cover section way smaller, like 20 view height. And then include that in your blog1.html. Say blog.css instead. And so what that'll do is you can then go back and forth. You can click here, click it, and it'll take you to here where the whole blog is. Does that make sense? You probably want to change the styles, all this stuff. Maybe make this cover or something. I don't care. You can do whatever you want with it. It's your thing. And so your job is going to be to write your blog post in here. And maybe you want to have a back arrow somewhere where you can go back. Maybe you want to have the, instead of having this be the actual title of the blog, you just put the actual link right here, this, inside there. You can choose how you want to do it. But your job today is going to be to write your explore task for your blog post. Now, to write the explore task, you need to know exactly what it is your explore task needs you to do. My recommendation, check out Slack. There's a bunch of sample questions there, or sample ones. If you look at Slack, for instance, and you go to the APCS principal section, if you look at the explore section A, the high score one, we take a look at it, you'll notice that the first thing they had to do was create a computational artifact to describe what the thing they're doing is. In this case, they were doing virtual reality. You don't have to do that part. Don't worry about that. We'll do that later. What I would much rather have you do is do the written responses, everything except 2A. So you would do 2A and 2B. You would start at 2C. You would say 2C, 2D, and then the references. So you actually don't need that much. You need 2 250-word responses, which is 500 words total, which is like a page of writing. Does that make sense? And so I would look at the sample responses I've given you as examples for what you are trying to do here. You're going to pick whatever computing innovation you want. You're going to answer 2 prompts. Explain at least one beneficial effect and at least one harmful effect on society, economy, or culture. And the other one is describe the data your innovation uses, how it consumes data, and storage, data privacy, or security concerns. You're going to have the whole period to do that today. If you need my help, let me know. I will be walking around. If you need me to put the code somewhere, also let me know, and I got you. Yeah, I got you. I'll put it on Slack right now. Cool?